Hey guys, Robert here, bringing you another video today. So this series I want to bring together is called the JRPG Time Machine. I kind of want to talk about old school RPGs when I've either played through them, maybe got the platinum, or going through like a nostalgia moment. But this one actually, I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy VIII. And does it matter in 2025 to play this game? Let's get started, guys. And before that, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and like this video. Comment. Have you guys played Final Fantasy VIII? And do you think it matters in 2025 as a trophy hunter to be able to get this game? So let's jump into it. So Final Fantasy VIII came out back in 1999. This game was, I want to say, kind of like the uh, put in a difficult position because you are in the bookends between Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX. And then you have Final Fantasy VIII. This game is kind of, no, let's get started. So let's break it down. So I got the platinum in this. It took me 35 hours, and I want to say there was only like two really hard trophies in this game. One was Omega Weapon because you had to make sure things were set right. But if you played the newest version to get the platinum, you could cheese it a little bit better. And two, Ultimisia, of course, the last boss, because when you faced off against her, you had to go and do a different, like it was random characters. So for me, I played with Squall and Quistis and Zell, and they may not have given me those characters. So I bet that was kind of what's like the hardest of the trophies. Uh, also, if you are looking to platinum it, I would say only platinum this game if you are a Final Fantasy fan. And for like myself, I'm trying to go through a journey of platinuming all the Final Fantasies. But I want to say platinum it if you're a fan. I think you'll enjoy the game more than you would if, let's say you weren't a fan. So something like that, I think, is a big way to do your journey. But this was a fun platinum in a sense because it brought back the nostalgia moment of me playing this game 30 plus years ago. But also, there was a lot of times I don't remember half this stuff. So, um, a couple things that like makes this game unique is the fact that this game there's something called a junction system. Now, for those of you who remember playing Final Fantasy VII, you had the materia, you got your magic, things like that. Final Fantasy IX, you learned abilities, stuff like that. Final Fantasy VIII was a junction system. So when you started off in the game, you got what they called a GF, a Guardian Force. You equip this Guardian Force or junction it to your character, and that's when you could set your abilities, attack, magic, draw, and items, something like that you could start out with. That is then how you can start getting magic early on. So then you would draw from the enemy and bring in and get some magic. So let's say you're one of the first bosses is Ifrit. You draw from Ifrit, you get fire. And then once you get the fire magic, then you junction that magic on an ability, so strength, spirit, agility, magic attack, things like that. There wasn't anything of like your typical you have MP and you're going to get your magic there. This all revolved around a junction system, and I think this is where it kind of drew away fans of the Final Fantasy series because for some the junction system was complicated and then some it was easy. For me, it was kind of in that middle because I did not want junction. I did not want to go through all the junctions every single time. So if I equipped like fire to my strength and strength was doing well, I didn't want to test out all the different ones because there's so much magic, and then there's so much to do, and especially too because your level scales with your uh, the enemy's level skills with your level as you start to go on. So a lot of times what ends up happening is you learn this ability called card, and you have to card the enemy so then you don't gain experience. So you can kind of keep a low level run. So I think things like that makes it good for people who like to do the speed runs, but I don't think it was good for anybody who like wanted to just enjoy the game. I think there is a excuse me. I think that there are a couple good things I would say. I mean, the card game was fun. It started to get fun once you started to kind of have like overpowered cards. But other than that, a lot of times you're spending your cards trying to get just enough cards, so then eventually your Guardian Force learns abilities that you could refine these cards into items and magic and things like that. You see how the complexity of this game could take away from your enjoyment of trying to get this platinum, as well as the story. The story wasn't. I don't. I don't think the story was one of the best in Final Fantasy. Now, for myself, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I've been playing 30 plus years, and getting back into this game was something that I would say I'm glad I did it, but I wouldn't recommend this game even as a starting point. I think this game only to play in Platinum is for fans only. The story is kind of a little out there. So, um, your main cast basically are orphans, and they don't remember they're orphans because they equipped a Guardian Force, and the Guardian Force made them lose that part of their memory. And as they met in the garden, which is kind of like their school, they all met together, and they don't remember that they met together. They don't remember that they were all together. And then when they start to slowly remember, and then they kind of have like a flashback scene, they go into the back in time, then they start to learn about another character, Laguna, and Laguna has his whole story, and then you come back and go into the future, and you learn that Ultimacia is from the future. She's trying to come to the present time to take over a body to be able to rule the world, and you see how complicated it gets. So I think Final Fantasy VIII was one of those that if they were ever to remake it, they gotta fix the story, and I think they gotta fix the junction system. So that's kind of my point there. I think the best way for you to be able to play it is the newest version, because for me, when I was playing it to go through the platinum, I ended up using the boosters. So being able to use 3 time ability, be able to, or sorry, 3 times speed, be able to have it um, where I get my limit break all the time. It made it more fun to be able to get through the game versus having to do that grind because it might not be used to it. But yeah, I think that's the best way to play through it. But for 2025, I don't think you go through the platinum for this game. I think it's a game you could pass and start in another. I think you start in another game and work your way to this game. I don't think you'll be as disappointed if you started playing this game. I think critics, like, I started reading some comments as I started going through this game, and like I think it's kind of split. Some people really like the junction system, some people don't. Some people like the story, some people don't. For myself, I didn't think it was a good game, and yeah, for me to recommend a game like that for you guys, I would be lying to you, and that's not what I want to do. But I want to be able to show you guys that even being a fan of a game, you could still dislike it. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully, kind of the small series that I want to get into, going back and talking about old school games maybe that I've played or gone through and things like that to help you guys decide whether or not you wanted to play it. I hope that is something that helps you guys out in your platinum journey or just your gaming journey in general. And I hope you guys like this. It's a mini video. Kind of want to just talk about my journey as well as a game I like to get through. But hey, I figured let's take you guys back to the time machine. So, JRPG Time Machine, kind of a series I want to kind of bring up and think about and see how you guys like. But Final Fantasy VIII, guys, it's a pass. I would say do not play this game until you've gone through all the other Final Fantasies. So, thank you guys for watching. Take the time, hit that likes up button, comment your experience at Final Fantasy VIII. Let me know. I read your guys' comments. So if you guys like this, like, share, subscribe. You guys know what to do. And remember, guys, keep gaming. Thanks, guys.